Hi scrappy friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video in our series of putting together and creating a Creative Memories Fast to Fabulous album. So if you've missed any of the first videos, then let me just give you a small recap. I am taking a Creative Memories Fast2Fab album, which is pre-designed and pre-decorated pages, and I'm trying to put together an album quickly to see if the process works. So does it create it faster and easier, and could it be for any skill level? So this is our next video in that playlist, and if you've missed any of them, I will link it at the end of this video so that you can go take a look at how I started and all the items I did pull together to help create this process and make it go a little bit faster. So what do I think so far? Is it faster? Yes, it's definitely faster. You'll see that I'm getting about 3 times as many pages done in one video segment. Most of my videos run about 25 to 30 minutes, and I usually get 1 page done, and now I have sped up the process and I'm getting about 3 double page layouts done in that same amount of time. So yes, I definitely think it's faster. Is it easier? Yes, but I also put together a kit of supplies so that I don't have to go searching through my inventory or my stash, and I've been keeping my embellishment clusters a little bit on the simple side, so that helps as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into today. Here's where we left off in the last video. So let me go ahead and turn the page. This is the 2 pages that we will be working with today, and I just think it's so funny how it lined up so perfectly. So let me show you the photos. So I have a little step process that I go through, and the first one is photo placement. And then I look to see if I want to mat any of the photos, and then add any layers to the overall page, and then embellish, which includes my title and journaling. What I came across now is I'm at a part in my album where everything now has gone to square edges. Okay, these were not corner rounded like the first part. So I have to make a decision. Do I want to keep corner rounding, or do I want to have my straight edges? So that's something I'm gonna have to decide. Okay, so let me go ahead and get these photos laid out. I only have 6 photos that I'm going to work with today. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. So my next question is, do I want to mat anything? And I think over here, I really like these photos, are really popping out between the ocean and the sky. I just feel like these photos are perfect, and I don't need to add any mats over there. But what I would like to do on the second page is I really want to bring in some more of the colors that I've been using. So there's a lot of blue and light blue on here, and I would like to bring in some orange. So what I'm going to do is trim down this orange piece to about 8 inches. 8 inches by 10.5. So an 8 by 10.5. And I'd like to bring this right over here. Bring it down pretty level with these photos. I am going to trim off another 1/2 inch over here. Yeah, I think that's much better. I didn't want so much off the edge there. Okay, what I'd like to do with this part over here is I do want to kind of cut that into a banner. I'm just feeling like it's just flowing through, so I'd like to put a fishtail banner on one edge. And I apologize if you're listening to this on headphones and you can hear my dog snoring. She is in here taking a good old nap today, and she's in such a deep sleep I don't want to wake her up. Okay, so there we go. That's my idea. I just kind of wanted to add in a little something. I feel like using the fishtail or dovetail is perfect in this kind of cruising album. It just kind of, there's so many times we would see this in the ocean or around the ship. So I just wanted to give it a little bit of a banner. and bring in that color. Now I want to also bring in some more orange, so I'm going to slide this up really quick, and I'm going to bring in my border making system and the new C-Star border making cartridge. I just got this in and I thought, how perfect, I want to play with it and add some more color and theme items to this page. So we're going to put some cute little starfish at the bottom. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna do it right down here. I think that's gonna look pretty good. And if you don't know if you saw that in the fast forward, I did catch my paper inside my cartridge. I think I was trying to go a little too fast. So if that happens to you, I tried to change directions and go from the top down. Just make sure you're pulling it out slowly and bringing it back down into the next notch so that it doesn't rip, but it's going to mend together very nicely, so I didn't have to redo another one. Okay, so here's my layout. I also wanted to point out the super cute little stars that come as the fallout to this border making cartridge. It's super cute. I don't think I will be using that on today's layout, but something you might want to put aside for your layout. That's going to be my layering. Okay, so let's get to embellishing. So I want to make this a super fast page, and what I liked about this clouds with the birds in it is there was a couple bird die cuts in here, and I just kind of want to place these up in the sky amongst the other birds, just to kind of, let me cover that one up, there we go, just to kind of use those die cuts, and I just think it's super cute to have them flying among the other birds. So let's talk about our title. I'm not one of those people that thinks every single page needs a title, but I certainly had a lot of room on this layout. So I thought, why not? And so I went into my title binder. If you haven't seen that video, I'll have that linked at the end here as well. But I went through and I organized all my titles. So I went to specific colors, and I really want to bring out orange in this. So I found this title that says, it's a chipboard piece, and it says, "Let the Good Times Roll." And I liked it also because it had that fishtail that I wanted to bring in. So I'm just gonna place this like right up here somewhere. In fact, now that I'm looking at it, I do want to scoot all my photos over just a tad. And my banner will go right up here on top of that photo, like that. And maybe I'll scoot it over. Let's see. And the reason I'm scooting them this direction is I want to have some room here to do a little more embellishing. So that's all I'm going to do up there. Over here, what I would like to do is bring in another bird. This is just a die cut from the Serene Waters pack, and put it right here. Since we have birds in the top part, I thought, why not bring it in at the bottom? And then what I also liked was the little sailboat that says, "Let the waves roll in." I think that's super cute also, so I kind of want to overlap it like that. And then I also brought in, I have some of these monstera leaves that I used the monstera leaf border punch. I punched out a few and I just kept them in my, cut them apart and kept them in my stash. And I just want to kind of tuck it in like that, just to bring in that tropical vibe that I'm trying to go with for this album. So on this page I have my title and a little embellishment cluster. Now on the other page I want to bring in my journaling box. I think I will put it right about here so I can still see the outline of my fishtail. And then I want to add some embellishments right here on the journaling box. So what I'd like to bring in is this palm tree. You can see some palm trees in the photos, so I thought, why not? That was an old Mrs. Grossman sticker. Oh, I'm so happy I'll be able to get that used and on a page. That's super cute. And I think what I want to bring in now on that page is I have these stickers from the Sun Rays Today's collection. And I love this one. because it'll also help with my journaling. It says the tans will fade, but the memories will last forever. Perfect for honeymoon photos, right? So I'm going to pop that up onto some foam tape, and I will lay that right over the top of the palm tree. And then I'm going to bring in these flowers. This is from those Vivid Melody embellishments that I had. And I'm just going to tuck the flower just to bring in some more of the yellow color. And now that I'm thinking about it, I maybe want to try and bring in a flower over here to this cluster. I have another one that matches, just to have some flowers on the other side. Leaves back. Let me grab another leaf. Let's see what I want to do here. We want our boat. Let's see. Not sure I want the boat anymore, so let's just move the flower around. Nope, I think that's it. I'll have all this kind of touching the border down here as well, so that it all is cohesive and looks like it goes together. Okay, so let me put you on pause. I am going to get all of this adhered down, and then I will be back to see if we want to add any finishing touches. And yep, it is that easy. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm back and everything is adhered down, and I love it. I love the addition of the orange on this page, and I feel like I didn't overdo it with heavy embellishments. I love the birds flying in the sky. I think it's just super simple, and yet I think it's beautiful, and another story is going to be told in this album, so that's wonderful. Now I'm just going to bring in a very small amount of finishing touches. So and I just want to explain how I do this. So when I'm looking at this page, before I turned on the camera, I was thinking, well, where do I feel like it needs a finishing touch? And over here, I feel like my cluster is perfect. I like it. I like how the palm tree is poking out and the flowers are poking out, my quote. And I have 3 items here, so that's an odd number. So I think that's why my eye visually looks at that and says, yeah, it looks well and balanced and everything. Down here, these are not really a cluster. They're just a few added embellishments placed around just to kind of highlight the birds in the sky. My title is up here by itself. That maybe I could have put it on something to help it, but I like it, and I don't think I need to add anything up here. This already has a little bit of gold in it. That's why you probably can't see it that well, but I think that it's perfect up there. So that brings me to this cluster. Now I've kind of, when I adhered it, I made sure that it was all touching together so it would look like it belongs there, and I think that succeeded, but I do feel like it's missing something, so I wanted to decide, like, what was it? And if you look at this cluster, it has 4 items, so it's not an odd number, and I feel like, okay, so let me see what I can add. So I brought in these enamel gems and started like looking around, like maybe a fish, but I didn't like that. But I did like a little star, and I thought, oh, I could just add one little star somewhere. So let's go ahead and pull one off of here. Let me put that in here very lightly. And see, to me, that just is like, yep, that was just what I needed. I love the color because it matches all my birds, and also the blue over here that I added with that journaling card. So that's all the finishing touches I'm going to add on this page. Again, I'm keeping it very simple, but yet true to my style. So let me clean this up, and we will come back and we'll do another page. Okay, hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back, and these are the next 2 pages that we're going to be working on. I love this page spread. I love the paper choices and the colors. So I'm very excited about this. Okay, first thing we talked about is we're going to do our photo placement. This is the snorkeling trip that we took off to an island. It was really fun. This was one of our best excursions that we went on while we were there. So this one I really do remember even all these years later. And let's see, I have these 3 photos I'd like to line up. That's what I have. I have 3 photos on one page. and then 5 over here. These I cut down. These are about 3 by 3.5 inches. The next thing is, do we want to mat any of them? And I do. I would like to bring in a strip of paper across the whole length of these photos right here. So I'm going to bring in this dark sea green. I'm doing a 4 by 12 inch cut. Just want to see about how big I need. There we go. That just really popped those photos up, didn't it? So I'm going to cut it about right there. There we go. I love that. But I also think I'm going to take this opportunity to bring in some vellum paper. I love this vellum paper. It kind of looks like the ocean. We're at the ocean, and I think it's going to go great on this page. So I'm going to do a 1/4 inch shorter, and there we go. Voila. I think it looks, actually in person you can see the vellum, and it looks like water right behind the photos, which is fun because we're actually in the water in those photos. So I like it. I think that added just a little bit of pop. And I'll play with my placement when I go to adhere these if I want a little exposed or not, which I'm probably going to do the or not. Okay, what else would I like to be matted? I think I would like these 2 photos matted. I don't want to mat everything because then I start getting carried away and it takes me a little bit longer. But I would like to bring in this peacock green and matte these 2 photos. There, that adds just a little bit of a pop to those photos, and everything else will stay unmatted. Now for my layers. So I'd like to bring in some of these laser cut borders that I had shown at the beginning. I want to bring some yellow onto my page, and I think what I'm going to do is put it right on the edge of the blue, and then this kind of has like a little bit of a swell, but if I put this on here, it all of a sudden becomes a straight border, and I like it. Just enough of the yellow showing through, and then over here I'm going to snip it right here and not waste it going underneath this photo mat. So, but it will look like this, but I will trim that and use that little piece on another layout somewhere else. So this is going super fast, and let's go ahead and start our embellishment clusters. Okay, so I'm going to first start with my journaling box, and for that I'm going to bring in yet another journaling card that I've trimmed down, and I'm going to place it right about here. And for my title, I'm going to bring in, again, these stickers from the Sun Rays for Days collection. I really like this one here that says Sun-Kissed. And I think I'm going to put that up onto some foam. I'm going to need some the smaller ones for this. It's really tiny. And I'll put it, I think I'm going to put it right here. Just a small little title. I think what I'd like to do is maybe bring in this dark sea green color over to the other side. So I'm going to bring in my custom cutting templates. I'm using the large circle with the blue blade. Let me bring this back in again. And I think what I want to do is create a circle to go over here as my base for my embellishment clusters. I use circles quite often. I love it. It's easy. I guess if I had to pick, this would be my go-to design for a cluster base. Okay, so I think I will put that probably down here, overlapping the journaling card and that laser border. Okay, that'll go right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut out another one for the other side as well. That way I don't have to think too much about what my cluster bases are going to be. Okay, so let's put that right there and put this away. Okay, and then what do I want to put here? So I had this extra photo, and you can barely see, but there's this giant lizard or iguana or something right here. So I think I'm going to bring back in my custom cutting system, and this time I want to bring in the small circle with the red blade, and I want to cut out just the lizard. Now he goes from about here to there, so I think red is the best. And you can't see him, so that's why I want to cut it into a circle so that he'll show up. He's like camouflaged. And I'm going to put it right over here. Now that I have that circle there, I feel like, hey, it's a good opportunity to get another photo in, and I'll just put it like that. So what I want to do, let's bring this back in. What I want to do is decorate the circle right here. So I'm going to bring in my Adirondack chair again, because this is the perfect layout for it, because we have all these lounge chairs on the beach where we're resting in between going out and snorkeling. So I'll use this, and I'll bring in some tan paper. I love this one. It looks like sand. Put it right there. And then I'll save this because I'll probably want to bring this in on the other side. So I kind of want to make this a little beach scene. So I'm going to bring in some more of these sun rays for days. There's this cute sunscreen and a beach ball. I have a beach ball left, and put it like that. Yep, it's looking good. Now let's focus over here. So what do I want to do over here? I do want to bring in the brown that I used. So I'm going to bring in a strip of that, as well as my tag punch, and create a tag. I like most of my tags to be about 4 inches, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it down. But I think what I'm going to do first is change the blade and do like a really fun cut at the bottom. I'm using the decal blade, and I will put this at 4 inches and kind of tuck this right up here so you can see the edge kind of, and again, it's just having those rough looking edges like we find at the beach. I thought it would be kind of fun to bring in some palm trees, and this is what I have left in my die cuts. So I thought, I think it's a little too big. Let's see. I think I'm going to cut off the extra palm tree, the third one down here, and just keep those 2. So I'm just going to do a little fussy cutting. There we go. And that way I can use that palm tree on another page as well. I think right here, I want to bring in another chair, and I have this one on a sticker sheet that's facing in. See how this one faces out, this one faces in. So I'm thinking of putting that right there. I think that's super cute. What else can we add? Oh, the little bucket and the shovel is cute. Maybe I'll pop that up onto some foam. So let's move the chair over a tad. We'll put our bucket and shovel right there. And what else? There's actually this little sun that's super cute as well. Decorate our tag a little more. Hey, again, we're going to keep these very simple, and I think that's all I'm going to add. I'm going to get all of this adhered down so it stops moving around and we can kind of get a full picture of what it's going to look like. We'll come back and get some finishing touches, okay? Hold on. However, before I go, I was just looking at my tag, and I think what I would like to do is maybe ink around the edges. So I'll just bring in my ink. I don't do this very often, but I kind of want to get that feeling of being on the beach. Get this edge all inked up as well. There we go. And now let's put this over here and see. Yeah, I think that gave it just enough little definition. Yeah, I like it. And while I'm gone, I'm going to get a little bit of twine to hang up right from there as well. So now I really will go and I will get this adhered down, and I will be back. And while I'm gone, if you don't mind hitting that like button, I really would appreciate it. It truly does help to spread my content through YouTube. So thank you for doing that, and I'll be right back. I'm back and I have everything adhered down. So what I ended up doing off camera is when I was adhering things down, I decided to go ahead and put that the other palm tree, the third one that I trimmed off from this set over here. I liked it. It just brought in a little something next to our word sun-kissed right there. And then I also decided to just ink the edges on the green circles as well, just to kind of tone them down and kind of match what I did over on the tag. Okay, then I added a little bit of twine coming up off the top of my tag. That's just kind of fun. And then I haven't put down the sun yet because I was gonna put the sun here. Then the more I thought about this over here, I thought it would be fun to have a little popping up from under here as well. So I wanted to see if I can work that out. So let me go ahead and bring in some scissors and just gonna cut it like 2/3 and 1/3. So the 2/3 will come over here like we had it, and then the 1/3 will come right over here and just underneath. Let me turn this a little bit. Underneath the palm tree a little bit and the word sun-kissed. So there we go. Just to bring in a little bit more yellow. I have yellow over here with the sun and the shovel, and then down here in this cluster. So why not add a little bit more right there? Now for the finishing touches, I wanted to bring in this word that said blue skies. I thought it was kind of cute. The skies are obviously very blue that day, and I thought I could just have it coming right off of the Adirondack chair, just like that. And then what I want to do is I really want to highlight the lizard somehow. So I thought I would bring in an arrow to kind of point to it. So let me try this one. And I'm okay if it looks a little odd. I just want to point out the lizard because I think if anybody's looking at this page, they might not realize the lizard. So yeah, when I point to it, then he kind of stands out a little bit more. And then the last thing, I guess these are more like embellishing. They're not really finishing touches anymore, are they? I've been really wanting to use this sticker. So I'm thinking I could tuck it right in under here just to kind of give it a little bit more down here. Yeah, I like it. Kind of just finishes that off right there. And then for my final finishing touches, I think I'll bring in some of these enamel shapes. And let's see, I like the water splashes since we're kind of splashing around in the water. Let's do 2. Yeah, I like that. I do. I like that a lot. Let's bring some over here. Let's see. Yeah, that's cute. Okay, let me commit to those by pushing them down. And we are finished. I love it. I love this one. I think it's very decorative and colorful. It is. It's very colorful. I think the colors that I brought in really helped to accent the color of the beach that we were on. So there we go. That's our second 2-page layout in this video. I'll clean this up and we'll get going on the next pages. But before I do that, I want to show you something. Remember in the very first video, I had this box that I used. It was full of the power layout. And that's what I wanted to show you is it's empty. So when I started going through the photos, I realized that this was not the entire trip like I thought it was in that first video. So I had to go and find the rest of the photos because looking at this box, it looked full enough to be the entire amount of photos, but this is only the second stop out of 5 stops that we made on this cruise. I went into my photo boxes, the ones I have in what I thought was storage, and I found a stack of photos. So there's some photos and I can see that there's memorabilia, those maps and stuff are all in here, and it looks like they are in somewhat of an order. So I'm going to pause for a moment and then kind of maybe lay these out and a quick power layout, and then I will come back and do the next 2-page layout. But I also found some more memorabilia as well. So this this album is going to be a little longer than I had originally thought, but that's okay. I think I have plenty of pages to work with. So give me one moment. I'll be back and we'll be on to the next page. Okay, hold on. Okay, so here's our next 2 pages. I love the blue turquoise bottom part with this beautiful sunset at the top. Now these are going to be very quick, easy pages. I almost going to feel like I'm going to cheat on this one because I have a lot of memorabilia that I'm going to put on these 2 pages. So on our last page, we worked on Antigua, and so I have one more page to do with Antigua, and then we're moving on to the next island, which was Saint Martin, and that's going to start on this page. So there'll be 2 different islands. So on the left hand page, I'm going to have this large photo, and it's going to go right there. That's a photo they take when you're getting on and off the ship, the different ports. And then I have 3 postcards that I want to put right down here at the bottom. And these are larger postcards. These are 5x7. So I will use a 5x7 peekaboo pocket this time because I do want to include 3 of them. Okay, so that's going to go on the top. That's going to go on the bottom. So on this page is when we get to Saint Martin. And for this page, I'm also going to have some postcards, 3 postcards. Now these are 4x6, so I'll be using a 4x6 peekaboo pocket here. I have some currency that we kept, so I'm going to put that in a peekaboo pocket and put that right around here somewhere. So I'll have 2 peekaboo pockets here because the money is so beautiful. I want to be able to see both sides of it. You know, there's not much on the other side, but I do want to see it. So that'll be in a peekaboo pocket right there. And then I have a map like we had before. So I'm going to put that up here at the top. I'm choosing to put it up in this corner so I can keep that little sunset right there, and probably slide this peekaboo pocket right up to the top. I must have highlighted Little Bay as probably where we docked. Okay, and then I have one small photo that I'm going to bring in just to kind of fill in this spot here. And so that's going to be my photo placement for this page. Now let's talk about matting, because I do have a lot of memorabilia and then I only have the 2 photos. Now I do want to protect the photos as much as I can as far as being in contact with the memorabilia. So I will mat both of these photos so that it kind of helps to protect them. So for this one, I'm going to bring in this blue mat, and this is just a little scrap I had from Sun Rays Today's, but the color palette fits so nicely. So I'll put that there. And then for this photo, I'm going to bring in another piece of this blue paper, the same paper as over there, and mount it right on top like that. Now for this side, I'm going to maybe try and put it right under the horizon. And the only other thing I want to mat is I just want to bring in something else over here to kind of highlight this money. I had this blue stripe paper in my scraps, and so I'm going to bring that in and get it to fit right over here. So I'll probably have to trim it down a little bit. Okay, so that's the photo mats. So we've done our photo placement, we did our matting, and so now what are we going to do for layering? I'm going to bring in a couple of the mat cards. I wanted to bring in some more color, so I brought in this green. So I thought that would be nice, and I have this big area over on the left-hand side, so I thought I'll fill it in with something. So I'm going to fill it in with the green mat, and then this card came from Tropic Time, and I thought it's perfect colors to bring in some of the orange from the top. And I'm going to just plop that right on top of that other mat. So that'll be my title. I would like to add something right down here. So for that, I'm going to bring in my border making system and punch out a little border to just kind of trellis off to the side here. And I decided to use something a little bit more generic, so I'm going to go with this wispy chain. And I'm going to bring in the same blue paper that I used over here. And to me it looks a little nautical. It almost looks like part of an anchor. It's kind of roped off like you would see rope, or maybe a buoy in the ocean. I don't know. It just kind of reminded me of being nautical and being at the ocean. And I just need a small piece of it. I don't even need the whole thing. So I'm gonna cut it right in half and tuck part of it under there. And it's just to give it a little bit of interest down here, okay? If I really wanted to, and maybe I will cut one more chain off and bring it to the side. For some more layering, I'm gonna come back to this piece and I am gonna trim that down. So it's gonna be like that. Now the top edge, I'm going to bring in this old notebook punch I've had around forever. I believe it's, yeah, EK Tools. And I'm going to just make an edge punch. I love the look of the notebook punch because we're on a cruise and we were taking some notes as we were traveling. I think we all kind of do that when we are traveling. We take some notes. So I'm going to put this right over here. Now this is going to be a tight little fit. So I went ahead and grabbed the peekaboo pocket for this so I can kind of visualize what I want to do. So the currency will go inside the peekaboo pocket. Then when it flips up, I'll have this cute little card just resting right there. And this gives me a place where I can embellish as well. So I like that. I wanted to just bring that in and show you my idea for that. Okay, so now as far as embellishing, so for embellishing, I'm going to bring in Mandevilla Flower Punch. And I had a couple of them in my stash already. So I kind of want to bring those in and try and use them up if I could. So I had these ones, and I don't necessarily have any pink on this layout, but I like that. I like incorporating that in, but I had these and I just really want to use them. I don't have any more of this pink paper, so this is just the other side. I'm going to tuck that one back in, but I do need some more colors here. So I want to bring in some yellow, and it has green on the other side. So that's where I'm going to punch out a couple of these. And I think I like the green actually. Let's see. Actually on this one, instead of having two pinks, let me turn it over so I have the purple, have the polka dots, and I'll kind of stagger them around like this. And then this pink one will go right in the center. Put the yellow one right back into the center of the green one. And for this one, I just want the green center. Okay, so that's what I'll do over here is I'm just going to adhere those and kind of just layer them like that. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do on this page. Now over here, on the last page when I was looking through my title binder and I found the orange title, I found this as well and I loved it. And I thought, well, I know I had some horizon type photos in here, so I thought this would be a perfect little bit of words to just add. And it says chasing the horizon, and I will center that square that I have going on here. Okay, now over here I want to do a couple things. I had used one of my metal dies and cut out this very spiny looking flower. I liked that, and I thought it would be fun to kind of put some embellishments kind of popping out from underneath the money, and then but when you flip it up you see more of it. Okay, so that's going to be sticking out right there. And then I also wanted to bring in this gum leaf punch. I love this punch. This to me is very, very tropical. Okay, so that's going to be right there. In my stash I had this, this came from my embossed blossom punch, and I do want to bring in some pink. There's a little pink right there, but I wanted to bring in just a little more pink and put that right there. So see, everything is kind of popping out from underneath the currency right there, and then when I flip it up I'll have this cute little area right there. And that's all I'm going to do on this page. I think it's very simple because I had so much memorabilia and I just really wanted to get everything on all that on here. That was my main priority. So I think I succeeded. Let me adhere all this down and I'll be right back and we'll see if we can add any finishing touches. Okay, hold on. There we go. Everything is adhered down and I kept everything the same as when I left you. So that's amazing, right? Everything is the same place that we talked about. So I just want to add a few finishing touches to this and then we'll be done. So the first thing I want to do is I want to bring in some word stickers. So over here, when the currency is flipped up, I just want to have this little cluster here. I wanted to bring in some little word stickers. I'm not going to have any journaling on this page, so I thought I would look here and see if there's anything that I like. So I'm looking at this one right here, like simply the best. I like that, and I'm just going to put that right there. Let's see how this will hang. I kind of want it up a little higher so that when it's on here and then it's flipped up, I would have that little embellishment cluster. So yeah, I like that a lot. Okay, and then the last thing I want to bring in is just a few gems, and I pulled these ones out because I love the smaller size. I feel like some of these other ones are a little big and a little bit harder to use, so I thought I'm going to bring in some of the smaller ones, and I really like the turquoise looking ones right here. And I think I'm going to go with the brighter blue, kind of matched my background paper. Normally what I like to do is put it right in the center of that flower, but since I can't this time, then I'm just going to put it right there. Yeah, I like that. Again, it'll be like a little surprise when you open that up. Yeah, that's cute. And then over here, I'd like to bring in a couple as well. So let's see. So there we go. That's going to be all of our pages for this video for today. And I'm going to clean this up and get started on the next few pages, and I'll be bringing you a new video real soon. So until next time, everybody, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. And for some more information, take a look at these other videos that I have. I think you'll like them. Bye-bye.